Major Canadian grocers are taking initial steps to address sky high grocery prices in Canada, but will these steps be enough? Industry Minister Francois-Philippe Champagne recently revealed that major Canadian grocers will be introducing discounts, price freezes, and price matching initiatives as an initial step to stabilize grocery prices. The moves come after the Liberal government pressed these grocers to submit a comprehensive price stabilization plan by Thanksgiving, warning of potential consequences. Now, in August, grocery prices surged by 6.9% compared to the previous year, which is a stark contrast to the overall inflation rate of 4%. Minister Champagne has also announced government actions, including the establishment of a grocery task force under the Office of Consumer Affairs to oversee grocers' plans. Well, joining us now to unpack these developments is Dr. Sylvain Charlebois, director of the Agri-Food Analytics Lab at Dalhousie University. Dr. Charlebois, welcome back to Forum Daily.
Well, thank you.
Now, we mentioned that some of these initial steps, grocers will be taking to address food inflation. But can you walk us through some of these steps in more detail and when we can expect to see some relief at grocery stores?
Well, what we heard last week from Minister Champagne was a long-term roadmap to more competition, more stable prices. He did mention three things. One, a more robust Competition Act. It's what we need, really. Also, a code of conduct within the industry to discipline players. Some players have more power and they're abusing their power, unfortunately, which is really lessening competition. And finally, he talked about the creation of a data hub, which is really critical, I think. It would democratize data, giving an advantage, more of an advantage to smaller players who can't afford to buy data at all. So companies like Loblaws and Walmart are always at an advantage. So over the long term, the roadmap is quite interesting. But for people listening right now, wanting help right now, there really wasn't much of anything really, because the things that were mentioned last week, price freezes, discounts, and things like that, it's really business as usual. So there was nothing new really.
So, what other measures would you say are needed to ensure that those who are hardest hit, especially rural and marginalized communities, get the support they need, Dr. Charlebois?
Yeah, so a lot of people are saying, well, the minister couldn't really do anything. Well, actually, he could have. For example, 4,600 products in a regular grocery store are taxed. There's a retail tax on some of them. So the zero base policy affects food, groceries, but not all foods. And some of these food products are actually healthy. And that 4,600 number is increasing every day because there are more shrinkflated product quantities are shrinking, which means for the CRA, these products are now snacks and taxable. So I certainly would encourage the minister to address this issue right now because it's costing consumers, 8, 10, 15% more when you go to the till. So that it really adds up.
Definitely, Dr. Charlebois. Now, in terms of these discounts, I know the government is saying that grocers are going to be implementing steep discounts to a basket of key food products. So, can you tell us a little bit more about what key food products are likely to be affected?
Honestly, we don't know. I mean, the announcement was actually quite vague. It was very vague, and you have to understand the minister couldn't actually say much about each grocer's strategy. They didn't. I don't think he was in a position to disclose. But the one thing that he could have done is to actually announce that all five grocers are endorsing the code of conduct. As I was mentioning earlier, not all grocers are on board, and some of them are actually quite concerned about the code. So it would have been nice to hear from him last week that everyone's on board and they want to accelerate the adoption of the code, which would actually bring more competition to the marketplace. But that didn't happen.
All right, Dr. Charlebois, just a quick 30 seconds left here, but if you could tell us a little bit more about this grocery code of conduct and what it could potentially look like, what would it be?
Well, essentially, if you're a supplier, you're a small supplier, and you're having some issues with Loblaws, the code would give you a safe place to go to settle your dispute with massive grocers like Walmart and Loblaws. Right now, they have no place to go. So they either decide to take the hit, do business with whoever, or close shop. And that's not good for consumers.
All right, Dr. Charlebois, another great interview. Thank you again for your time today, sir.
Take care.
All right, stay with us. After the break, we're going to be turning to the stories currently making headlines around the world. So stay tuned. We'll be right back after a short break.